There's a lot of really frustrating things in the finals, and without the know-how, they're impossible to deal with. So let's go over the most common complaints and how you can counter them. Ever tried stealing the cash out, but every time you get close, it just gets covered in gas? It's safe to say it's pretty annoying to sit around and wait for the gas to slowly go away, especially when a timer is counting down. Thankfully, there's a workaround. If you set fire to the gas, so either by using a fire weapon like the flamethrower or the pyro grenade or either of these two barrels that you find on the map, this will actually clear the gas out for you in a short period of time. Which leads me to the second point: what if there's a fire on the cash out that stops you from getting close as well? The fire can be put out using smoke grenades or these gray smoke canisters that you can find on the map, very much like with the gas. Moving on, have you ever run into full teams with one or several medium-class enemies all constantly healing each other up? It's pretty frustrating to deal with, especially as a solo player, but there are a few workarounds. First off, if the situation allows it, you will want to stop shooting the one getting healed and go for the healer instead. But this is far from perfect, and it will leave you vulnerable to damage from the team's frontline. The answer to this is equipment. Make sure that the light class player on your team has a glitch grenade in their loadout or reserve for this very strategy. A well-placed glitch grenade will disable all of the affected player's abilities, including the heal gun, for about 10 seconds, which denies them the chance to heal up and turn into easy kills. In the same vein, there's been some chatter about defibrillators being annoying or too hard to deal with, so I figured I'd share how to deal with them real quick. If an enemy goes for a defibrillator play, feel free to sink some damage into them as they do run towards their teammate, but make sure to keep some shots in the magazine, because when their teammate gets revived, they only have a handful of health, so not full health, and they are extremely easy to kill again with some focus fire. If you want to ensure that they don't get any follow-up healing or utility, you can also use a glitch grenade as well. But what about RPGs? As a light class enjoyer myself, I've definitely tanked my fair share of RPGs. So how do you deal with it? Well, there's no real counterplay other than if you do see a heavy with their RPG out, just don't challenge them and just get into cover or you're going to turn into soup. This rings even more true if you're out in the open and you spot a heavy just looking at you while holding an RPG, because odds are they're waiting for the perfect opportunity to snipe you from across the map. Which reminds me of invisible players. The light class can go invisible either with the cloaking ability or the vanishing bomb, both which makes them impossible to see. And other than being aware that these abilities exist and that light players currently are near guaranteed to be using them, there are a few sets of information that will help you sniff them out or kill them in the middle of battle. For example, if they use a cloaking device, so not the vanishing grenade, a light user running around will still be somewhat visible to the human eye if you simply pay attention. And no matter which ability they do use, if they do take any damage, they will be a lot easier to see and to kill. It's also worth noting that if an invisible user decloaks, it also plays this sound. Make sure that you listen out for this so you don't get caught off guard if they do happen to appear behind you. If you know an enemy is invisible in an area or in a specific room, you can also counter them using abilities such as the thermal vision, a sonar grenade, or even area of effect abilities such as gas or fire, as the fire will, again, reveal them as well. Moving on, I've seen a lot of players, my teammates included, really struggle with sieging these floating houses. There's actually a really easy way to counter them without having to take a difficult siege. Just hear me out. There are 4 hooks keeping these houses suspended. If you break 2 of these hooks on the same side of each other, so not on each ends, this will make the house crash straight down into the ground, and now you don't need to siege it anymore. Next up, dealing with the heavy class is going to be annoying. They're built to withstand a lot of damage, and they can deal a lot of damage themselves. If you are playing a light or medium class, you're best off not taking a 1v1 head-on and instead working angles to get them down to a lower health. If you are forced to take a duel with a heavy user, make sure to keep strafing and dodging to make yourself difficult to hit, all while aiming for the heavy's head. They move very slowly, and as such, going for headshots is so much easier than against other classes, and it is the only way you can bridge the gap in health and damage. Shields are going to be rough to deal with on your own, but there's always a way to do it. If you're trying to deal with a heavy's handheld mesh shield, you can actually break it in about a full magazine of the AKM. In addition to that, both shields can be disabled if they're touched by a glitch grenade. Melee wielders are also incredibly frustrating to deal with, I know. If they get close, which they will get to do if they get to drop on you, you will basically turn into a free kill. So how do you deal with them? First and foremost, it sounds obvious, but try not to let them get the drop on you. They might get a lucky kill on you once, but once you know they are running a melee strat, Make sure that you swing wide around corners, don't just walk up close to them. Another surprising way to counter melee enemies is sticking close to your own teammates. Melee users won't dive straight into a full team of 3 because they're just gonna get beamed instantly. You can also counter a melee user with utility like dodging abilities to create distance, or something like the taser to lock them in place and turn them into an easy kill. But what if you're not a melee user? How do you deal with getting tased? Depending on the situation, there might not be a lot you can do. That being said, if the enemy light class tases you and goes for a 1v1, it is very much winnable. See if you can get into cover and get a reset, and if they start challenging you, make sure to hip fire at them and keep strafing left and right as fast as possible. The odds will still be in their favor, but depending on your loadout, your accuracy, and their lack thereof, it is still possible to come out of this situation alive. As for mines, countering mines is all about knowledge and simply paying attention. Mines can be placed on walls and on the floor, and if you look around you should be able to spot them before you step on them. They will most commonly be placed around any objectives, usually around the cash out box. Once a mine has been spotted, you can destroy it either by shooting at it or throwing a grenade at it. Just keep in mind that destroying a mine will activate it the same way as if you would have stepped on it. You can also temporarily disable a mine for, 10 seconds or so using a glitch grenade. But what about turrets? These damn things will deal a decent amount of damage if unchecked, and they do take a while to bring down. Staying aware is key. As soon as you spot a turret, make it your priority to take it down without exposing yourself for anything else than the turret itself, either by throwing grenades at it or just shooting it out. Making sure you stay as much within cover as possible is paramount, because odds are the enemy team that the turret belongs to will be ready to shoot you right back. It's also worth noting that turrets slowly scan to the left and then to the right within an about 120-degree cone, and any target that gets within that point of view will start getting shot at. You can use this to your advantage by taking a flank around the turret and taking it out from the side or from behind, from those angles where the enemy team might not even expect you from in the first place. Moving on, how do you break into a room that's fully sealed off with a mountain of goo? It's surprisingly easy. You can either shoot or punch holes in the individual goo spheres to open up angles to shoot enemies through, or just lobbing any type of fire at them. It's also worth noting that any type of gas will go straight through the goo and damage the enemy on the other side. Moving on, I've also seen some complaints about enemies placing the jump pad under the cash out, which makes it impossible to steal it until it reaches a full stop. The counter is really easy. Just shoot out or blow up the jump pad using a grenade. That being said, if you do take the grenade approach, keep in mind that grenades will bounce off of the jump pad, so you need to throw them right next to it. As for sonar grenades, there is no real counter to them. If you are within its range, you will be revealed to the enemy team. If a sonar grenade has been deployed, it's probably a good idea to just sit out and stay clear for a little while until it goes away. A sonar grenade will stay active for about 7 seconds or 4 beeps. I've also seen a lot of complaints about the flamethrower and a lot of requests on how to deal with it, but honestly, after trying it out myself, its weaknesses become really clear. The flamethrower has a very low range, and the flames move incredibly slow. So just by keeping your distance from a heavy will practically disable their entire way of dealing damage other than RPG snipes. And if you do end up getting too close, my best tip to you is to keep an eye on what the heavy is doing aim-wise. If they seem to be aiming ahead of where you are going, just strafe the other way and keep your strafe as long as possible until they catch on or are dead. And I really hope this helps, and if you have any more ways to deal with these annoying strats or think that I missed something that I should have brought up, of course let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.